morning and welcome to Sunup on 7. My name is Jonathan Samuels-Card.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Mendes. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. Thank you so much for welcoming Renata and I into your space. We're very excited for today's episode. Let's tease and what can they expect on today's show.
Excitement is coming because we know that we're talking about solution when it comes to the bus companies and how we're going to be moving forward. We have an author, a researcher coming in to talk about what are his findings, what do he feel, what does he feel are some of the solutions that are practical that can help us part and map out a way forward. What else do we have?
What else do we have? We have BTB joining us today to talk about World Tourism Day. And also we have Jules joining us for the Monday morning beef because the Prime Minister said Jules should put his name in the ballot.
Should Jules?
Should
Will
Jules?
Jules?
We're going to find out what Jules has to say about that, but definitely it's going to be a great episode.
Definitely. Excitement is coming, and you know how this works. Put your comments in the comment section, make a live interactive, fun, and respectful, of course. Or you know what? You put your name on a ballot.
Aha.
Let's get to the content.
Border to border, Belize and Guatemala. Border to border, we need peace and order. Border to border, Belize and Guatemala. Border to border, we need peace and order.
I've come to find that the truth isn't what we were told. So where
to everybody on Sunup.
do I seek the answer that's worth looking for today? Just in time,
He's here to talk to us
the
about
writing appears on
the
the
show that we're on
wall.
right now. Tell me,
You
this
and
one
I were the first ones to see
And we're going to be talking about the hot shush that has been
the
happening
world
over
that
the
we
weekend.
see
So
may seem that it'll never change. They say, but if you tear down the wall that's blinding us all, you'll see the way today. A place to call your home, a place where you can go. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light.
Muy buenos dias, my beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome to your Monday episode of September 15th. Once more, thank you so much for welcoming Renata and I into your space. If you're watching via Facebook, YouTube, or cable TV, it's a pleasure being with you this morning. Let's get started with today's show by having a look at the weather courtesy of the Belize Met Service.
Good morning. Moist and relatively unstable conditions prevail over the country. In the 24-hour forecast, skies will be mostly cloudy, with a few showers, thunderstorms, or periods of rain occurring around the country today. Then, activity will occur mostly over the south and coast tonight. High temperatures will reach around 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 89 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 77 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 67 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to southeast at 5 to 15 knots, with sea conditions being light chop. And then low tides occur at 11:42 this morning and at 9:58 tonight. High tides at 6:17 this evening, then at 4:52 tomorrow morning. The moon will set at 1:40 this afternoon and then rise at 12:52 tomorrow afternoon. Then sunset is at 5:54 this evening and sunrise at 5:40 tomorrow morning. In the extended forecast, there will be some showers, a few thunderstorms, and periods of rain expected around the country for Tuesday and Tuesday night. Then in the sargassum update, satellite and surface observations continue to show large amounts of sargassum over our area. As a result, coastal destinations will continue to experience major impacts during the next few days. And finally, for the tropical weather outlook, a tropical wave over the central tropical Atlantic is producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. This system has a medium chance of becoming a tropical cyclone during the next 48 hours, and currently poses no threat to Belize. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to your Monday episode. It's time for the Monday Morning Beef with Jules. Jules is ready on the couch. Jules, good
Am I
morning.
ready?
Are you? Because I see you to scramble with your lead paper.
Yeah, I'm totally, my brain is shattered.
Oh, no.
My mind is scattered.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at you.
I like the shirt that you're wearing, though.
Yes,
There's
that's,
news.
You're looking more patriotic today.
I feel very patriotic.
I could tell. It runs through your veins. And somebody just asking, and I just want to get a check-in from you. Is this more of Belizean beef or is this Guatemalan beef? Like, they're trying to understand or gauge the conversation. What would you
This will be a Belizean beef.
Okay,
That's the
so
only
yeah.
kind of beef we enjoy and support.
Okay, I'm just double checking here. So for those that have been asking, there's your answer. But Jules, let's dive right into it because I think we talked about the alarming situation that took place on the 10th of September where Guatemalan armed forces came in and put a flag on our Sarsoon Island. And it was a big thing for us where it broke history because it's never been to that extent where they would do something, especially on a day as that, the Battle of St. George's Caye, Day the 10th. Let's talk a little bit about just the provocation and what's going on when it comes to the Sarsoon and everything under the sun.
Yeah, so what happened on Saturday, the territorial volunteers, as advertised, said, so this is last week when I planted the flag. This is what happened on Saturday. Switch back to Saturday. Yeah, so this is the territorial volunteers took out 3 boats and the Guatemalans brought out 4 Navy vessels, large vessels, except that lanchon, that's smaller. But they brought out 4 vessels. I don't know if we have any audio on that, guys. Can we bring up some audio on that? But what it is that they
Guatemalans. What is motherfucker?
Yeah, so yeah, you can see that they're very aggressive. They encircled the Belize territorial volunteers, and they drove them back. They prevented them from going to Sarsoon Island. They prevented them. You remember that, I believe it was 2 years ago, they went and later took their flag.
Yes,
but this
I remember
time,
that.
they had a large number of naval vessels, and they presented them continually, insisting that these waters are the territory of Guatemala. The 1859 Treaty for the Avoidance of Doubt says very clear that Belizean territory is north of the deepest channel, what is called the Thalweg. That's the deepest channel. Belize territory starts north of that. The Sarsoon Island is north of that. So that is very clear in the 1859 treaty. There is, I believe, there is not perfect harmony between the president of Guatemala and the military. I think the military sometimes sends him a message because he's a moderate and the military is right wing. Right? So, and they had these very provocative images this weekend of the military celebrating their 204th anniversary.
Yes, the flyers that included
And the flyers that include Belize, yes.
The entire Belize, not even just like peace, the entire part.
Of course. But I'm saying that this is the product of the political directorate in Guatemala and the military being out of step, because that country has a very strong and chauvinistic military. And they're expressing this in bullying Belize and provoking Belize. We have to give maximum respect to the BDF soldiers.
Yes.
They have been put in impossible dangerous situations in the function of their duties. You will remember that these are the same BDF soldiers who got their salaries cut. Now, I can hear the government screaming. No, the government didn't cut their pay.
They just-
But they
was wrong
adjusted
the-
it.
Yes, they was wrong the entire
But
time.
adjusting it is taking money out of people's pockets.
Yep.
Right? It's not like it happened for a month. It had been going on for years. And I understand compensatory allowances were given. But I'm just saying, these are the same soldiers who went through that administrative kerfuffle, which has a consequential effect on the money they take home to their families.
Yeah.
But respect to these soldiers, they have maintained professionalism. We have the footage from Friday, Victor, of the Belizean soldier reading to them in Spanish what is the true state of affairs. Right? He's reading to them very patiently. Of course, they're shouting at him nonstop. They displayed such aggressive behavior. This is a time of intense bullying and provocation by the Guatemalans. It comes at the annual time of year. I remember that was their Independence Weekend as well. September 15th. So they are being very macho. They went to the island on September 10th when Belize secured for itself its history as a colony of Britain. And they said, nope, we are replanting the flag. So we have to understand why they are doing this, to satisfy their own hawks, the right-wing people in their country. But they are bullying and provoking Belizean soldiers. This planting of the flag is an unprecedented assault. So Belize is on the cusp of what I call diplomatic week, where all the diplomats come from all over the world for Belize's independence. All our non-resident ambassadors come for, and then the Minister of Foreign Affairs has a big meeting with all of them where he advances the position of Belize. Belize needs to rely very heavily at this time on its allies to speak to the Guatemalans. The United States is the most important in all this, right? But we've had a change of administration in the United States. Guatemala was one of the first countries to agree to act as a safe third country for American asylum seekers. Guatemala is in America's good books. Why is this? Because they're one of the countries that have the greatest number of migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. And the U.S. has been sending them home, sending them to Guatemala by the plane load. Every week, multiple jets.
Wow.
Right? We don't have nearly that number. We're the smallest in the Americas, among the smallest in the Americas. And I'm including Chile, which is way at the south. But I'm just saying, usually the United States can have a moderating influence on this macho chauvinism by the Guatemalans. I don't think we can rely on that at this time because of the state of relations with the U.S., right?
Okay.
It's just, there's been a change of administration, and the norms that we got used to no longer apply. My point is, this is diplomatic week. The foreign minister has to lean very heavily on his allies to try and speak to the Guatemalans, to tell them you must respect the process at the ICJ, the process at the OAS, and of course Belize's sovereignty. We must also push for a proper demarcation exercise. It's not expensive, it's not cheap, and it's not simple. But that is a major, important part of what we want to do. Fourth, the government has failed on its promise to develop a Sarstoon protocol. The government has failed. I understand it is not simple. Why is it not simple? Because of this same issue. The Guatemalan military wants to be macho. And the Guatemalan state, the political directorate, the president and the foreign minister maintain friendly relations. So we go to Calakmul, trinational agreement, right? We signed a nice trinational agreement. There we are, the president of Mexico, the prime minister of Belize, the Guatemalan president. And then this happens. That is not a coincidence. It is the military saying to the president of Guatemala, we run this. We run this.
No, we are the boss.
We are the boss. So you could go play nice with Mr. Briceño. We're going to play nasty on the SAR student. Obviously, force is not an option for Belize. We can't get head tech and say, oh, we go in there. We
Guns
can't.
blazing, we can't.
We can't. We can't. They have us outnumbered. They have us outmuscled. They have the U.S. behind them. They have Israel behind them. We just have to understand the role we play, and we have to ask our good neighbors, such as Mexico, to try to intervene with these people. But the problem is that you talk to the president and foreign minister, you get one message, and then the military
They're doing their own
goes
thing.
and does their own thing.
So they're operating in silos. They're not.
Right, and that is how that country is. How that country is set up. It has a very militaristic history. The military is famously 204 years old, and they have an extremely macho history with their military, and they claim Belize. Now, every day, 900 and change students from Guatemala come across to Belize to go to school, right through Benque border. 900, the most. When I started tracking it in 2016, it was 400. In 9 years, it has gone to 900 students from Guatemala come here every day to go to school. Every weekend, Guatemalans are at our keys, at the Sapodilla Key Range. They pay their fees, they go there, it's tourism.
Okay.
I understand. But I'm saying that the government of Guatemala has to understand that we live as neighbors, we live with interdependence. We are not, now if we were a crazy nation, we would have said, ban the student from come over today.
Yeah.
No 900 at any count today. Block the border. But we are the smaller country. We are the more reasonable country. We do not have a military history of killing hundreds of thousands of our indigenous people in a civil war like they do.
Yeah.
Our history is not written in blood. So we have to try to be the mature one. It's very difficult. I certainly encourage, I know it's been floating out there, a boycott on Melchor, on
Yeah, I read
Guatemalan
that.
products. I 100% support that. And if, you know, Belize is small and we think we're inconsequential, well, I could tell you, the day we boycott Melchor or Chetamal, those little border communities exist and thrive on the income from Belizean shoppers.
Of course.
Yeah.
If we boycott Melchor, it has a consequential effect, and that complaint goes up because then businesses there start to suffer. They complain to their politicians complain to the bigger politicians, and then man start forget the sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that is something meaningful that Belizeans can do. Boycott Melchor, boycott Guatemalan products. We do not wish to be uncivil. We do not wish to block the 900 students who come across every day, or the dozens of Guatemalan tourists who come to Belize every weekend. We must live in peace. But also, whatever economic power we have, we must exercise it prudently.
Yeah.
And also, as I said, the Minister of Foreign Affairs really, and I'm sure he knows this, but has to make a very strong case to our allies and friends that somebody have to talk to Guatemala because they are out of line.
And it's going to be a hard conversation because, like you mentioned, there's a disconnect.
Yep.
So even if the president is saying one thing, how can we get the Guatemalan armed forces, the military, to understand what he's saying to us? So I feel like the conversation can happen, and maybe the conversation does happen. However, is it being dealt with? Is it being taken for what it is and respected to as well? So I think those are also questions to think about.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Well, what can the police do about it, Jules?
I think that was a typo.
Okay.
But I don't know that that the armed forces or the law enforcement can really do anything. In terms of we cannot escalate.
They're doing the best they can.
Yes, I'm saying that. But you know, when you're put into a situation of physical danger, and also a situation. And Victor, can you show the part when the boat was when they cut them off on Friday?
That was fair.
Of both physical danger and also humiliation, and your own humiliation for your own country. When you are put into that situation and acting lawfully in your own country, and you have a gun in your hand, it requires a high level of discipline to not act crazy. So the only thing they can do is remain totally calm and resist these provocations. When you're being bullied in your own yard, in your own home, when you're being bullied, it is, if you have a gun in your hand, it is very hard to show restraint. Respect to these soldiers who have done that. They are being bullied in their own backyard. Regrettably, we will have to continue to pursue this course of non-aggression. And it's just a reality for this period. I don't know if the commander on that side of the river changed. You know, they have a naval base over in Sarstoon. I don't know where the order is coming from. But these people, they get head-tech and they want a chance with.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Now let's talk about what's the Prime Minister's response to the Budna abduction.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there. The Prime Minister spoke on it for the first time, or for the first time since his statement, because he spoke last week at the Investment Summit, but he said he was waiting on this investigation.
Special report.
So now he's gotten this unsatisfactory investigation. He spoke on Friday, and I want to emphasize first, he did not open up with a statement by ministers. A statement by ministers is something you put at the top of the House meeting, and it's when there is a matter of public importance or public interest that a minister has to address.
Okay.
Whenever there is anything big brewing, that's how you deal with it, statement by ministers. But he does not have the respect for the Belizean people. They do not deserve that. So we have footage of the House meeting on Friday, guys. They do not deserve a statement by ministers. He will not give them that. So he spoke on the adjournment, responding to the leader of the opposition, who obviously we knew would bring it up, the Budna abduction issue. And I think the Prime Minister was so unparliamentary. He embarked on a vicious ad hominem campaign against Joseph Budna. It was scurrilous. Why was it? His criminal record needs no embellishment. It's bad enough. We know he's a criminal. We know he has been an convicted child predator.
We know that.
He has multiple offenses in multiple countries. Belizeans know this, and they still maintain that he should not have been treated the way he was. Even those who believe he should be in jail do not believe it should have happened like that.
Yeah.
Because it is an affront to how we run things in this country.
Exactly.
But the Prime Minister embellished his criminal record. He put in crime fantasies. It's really a demonization of an individual who could not be there to defend himself. It is the heights of unparliamentary conduct of the Prime Minister. To talk about a Belizean citizen, that's fine. We know he has a criminal record. It is fair to say he's a convicted criminal. But he went on a tirade to really a scurrilous, he inflated the narrative with total embellishments and mistruths. when it's not necessary. We all accept this as fact. Why would you go so far? So that's the first thing he did. Very unparliamentary, in my opinion. The man not there to defend himself. And, you know, the Prime Minister then spoke about, he did something extremely, I was perplexed by it. The Prime Minister, and we can show the Prime Minister in the House. He said that, you know, he was speaking about the report, that his constituent, ACP Suzette Anderson, will submit to him. He said, it is not the cabinet who will receive this report. I will receive this report.
Oh.
I will receive it. Then, no, I don't know what John Briceño knows about evidence. I don't know what he knows about evidence. How can he make any assessment of any investigative report? That is not within his purview. He was not elected to do that. That is the purview of the DPP. But for him to arrogate to himself this, that he said, I will receive it. It's not the cabinet. I will receive it. Then you know what he said? But I have respect for them, so I will report to them what I saw in there. No, that's what he said. He don't got respect for we, because he ain't going to report to us. That's the point. He loves reporting to cabinet. This is what I'm reporting. He does not report to the Belizean people. He does not have the respect. He said that's why he's going to report to them. The report is for him. He's the big man. The report comes to him. He's the evidential assessor. When your prime minister is assessing evidence in a matter of intense public interest, in a criminal act conducted in the heart of his own constituency, when the prime minister of a country is doing that, we are in trouble. When the prime minister is the purveyor of criminal matters and the decider in what happens next in criminal matters, we are in trouble. He has no legal training. He's a businessman. He deals with profits and losses, never losses, because he's the great John Briceño. All profits. His money's making money. My point is, sir, you have crossed a dangerous line when you say, I will receive the report, not the cabinet. Now I want to juxtapose this with the remarks of Karim Musa. Karim Musa, clueless in Argentina, comes off the plane clueless. Yeah, what the house meeting today? Huh? No, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Because he said, and I had to save his remarks, that, you know, he said that since I left the country a week ago, I have not gotten any updates on progress of the investigation. Which thing this? So he left the country a week ago at the height of this issue. Boy, you know, something to go on? Huh? Want to meet me at the airport? I'm just saying, I find it inadequate that the police minister, when this matter of intense public scrutiny, where people believe, for good and clear evidential reason, because they've seen the tape, they believe, the public believes, that your police department was involved in an abduction of a Belizean citizen. He hasn't gotten an update in a week. He gone for a week and he hasn't gotten an update. Wow. I'll come back to that. So the Prime Minister says, I get the evidence, right? But Karim Musa said it is for cabinet to have oversight of the process. That's why the cabinet will get the report. And so once it is that Ms. Anderson reaches a certain level of her investigation and completes it, the cabinet can hold her accountable in terms of the progress on it. He says that that's a false narrative that she's reporting to cabinet. Obviously, it's going to have to end up with DPP, whatever. But my point is, so the Minister of Police believes that the cabinet is having an oversight of the process. And the Prime Minister just said in the House of Representatives, no.
Yeah.
Solo mio. I am the decider. I am the king of evidence. I went to law school. I know he did not do any of this. He's foisting one of the most vicious, misinterpretations and perversions of criminal oversight on this country. So, unsatisfactory. Now, the Prime Minister then tries to change his words because the press release said the report was unsatisfactory and incomplete. Then he says, you know what, I'm in a rush there. You were not rushing them, sir. When you asked for that report, it was many days after the abduction, right? It was actually almost 10 days, right? But you were not rushing them. The report the investigation had been put on pause. I am credibly informed the investigation had been put on pause by the big man because he was traveling. Because everybody has to travel non-stop. They're a blur. So he made a travel.
Okay.
In the biggest week, in Ghana, Taiwan. So I am quite reliably informed that the investigation was put on pause. So it's not that they had a 1 day to do the investigation. They should have been investigating for almost 2 weeks at that point. Sorry, it was 13 days. So the Prime Minister is expressing a falsehood. They didn't, it's not like the thing happened August 22nd and he asked for the investigation the Monday the 25th. It is 2 weeks after, and he still got an incomplete and unsatisfactory investigation because he knows, I would want him to talk to the DPP. Every investigative file she gets, 99% are incomplete and unsatisfactory. Then she sends it back to police for further investigation. You don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. That is the nature of the process. I don't know how many evidential files, investigative reports he's read. I know in my 30 plus years in this job, I have not read one. I have tried. They're closely guarded. Maybe I saw one in 30 years. Okay. I'm sure the PM has seen zero. So what does he have to compare it to? How can he make any assessment of an investigation? All investigative files are incomplete. That's the struggle that's a bane of our existence, of the DPP's existence. He then says, to defend ACP Suzette Anderson, whose professional reputation I will never attack. He says that, she's a constituent, but I don't talk to her. I'm sure that is true. I believe her mother is a campaigner, and I believe her sister works for another minister, but that is fine. People's choices is their political choice is their business. But, sir, it is not that we don't think that ACP Suzette Anderson is a highly capable and credible individual. It is because the public will not be satisfied that your constituent did an independent investigation. So it is the public perception. The public already believes that it's a police cover-up.
You make police investigate.
And then you're making police investigate it, which again corroborates the public suspicion that it's a police cover-up. And then you're making one of your constituents do it. The public will not be satisfied that it's an independent investigation. It is the public we must satisfy because the public faith in the police department is at an all-time low because they have seen police officers engaging in an abduction. But let's move on. My point is that he said he will, because I had to make notes, he said that he will release, or the videos will be released after the investigation finishes and let us see the tapes. But no, sir. You remember the gentleman who was killed in the U.S., the activist, Charlie Kirk, right? When he was assassinated, if that's the word they're using, shot and killed, what was the first thing the FBI did? They released all the surveillance video because it is the collective community wisdom. What did you see that led or that would lead to his arrest?
Yep.
Right? The police have yet to publicize the only picture, and Mr. Denver has it, the only picture of this sky blue 2013 Equinox is the one that Channel 7 has put out there. The police at no time have put out a bulletin. Man, I would pray that if anybody I know or love is ever, God forbid, put in a situation that something needs to be identified, I would pray they release it immediately.
Yeah.
Because where is this vehicle?
Yeah.
Where are the actors? This is not a good faith effort.
Yeah.
When you want to catch somebody, you put out the surveillance video. They still have not caught, and you have the footage there, Mr. Denver, of this 2013 sky blue Chevy Equinox. Channel 7 is the only place that has put out. I think you had a clearer picture of it in another story. We found one online that we know looks like it. And we put it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have at no point sought to do that. And the PM is saying it's going to affect the investigation. No, sir. This is what helps the investigation. If you wanted to get to the truth, and you don't, you are perpetrating a cover-up. I don't know why. I don't know why. But if you wanted to get to the truth, Mr. Karim, Mr. John Briceño, you would release this. Incredibly, Karim Musa at least admitted, I saw the video on Channel 7, the Prime Minister is actually still saying, and I have to find his words here, he's actually saying that, and I'll find it here, he said that I haven't seen the video, and I don't want to see it. Where are you living, sir? He loves to say, I don't watch your news, but so-and-so tell that to Budna and all. I don't watch your thing, but so-and-so tell me, my God, forgive me. I am so sorry for Grazia and Vaughan. They're among the content they have to consume and then report to the Prime Minister. But my point is that he loves to say, he don't live the Belize, you know. He lived the IHOP. He did IHOP. He did IHOP. They watch, they observe hiring practices. That's what he said on news on Friday, that he was at IHOP. He not that I believe. He not study nothing here. He study employment practices at IHOP in Houston,
Wow.
International House of Pancakes. But he has not seen the video. So it is us who put that picture out there. We're the only. We put it out there. The police still have not said, we're looking for this. Even if you know I find Budne, you know Pahine, this is a critical part of the investigation.
Yeah,
now this is a picture from the internet based on what we know the vehicle looks like. That's how the vehicle looks, but the police have at no point said, hey, has anybody seen this vehicle around so-and-so date? Where did you see it?
Yeah.
Ladyville? Orange Walk? It had been in Orange Walk for 2 nights. They are not serious about the investigation. So the point I want to say is that the Prime Minister continues to say, I have not seen it, and that, you know, and that I want to wait until the investigation is finished. That's the first thing you should do. It's blown up. Just try to see it. It only takes a minute.
Literally.
It only takes a minute. You could see my version. It's not the best version, but you could see it.
So you want the report, but you don't want the video.
He doesn't want to see it.
So
He
how-
doesn't live in Belize.
How you want to really get the whole synopsis of what's happening?
He doesn't. He doesn't. That's what concerns me. And then he puts himself in charge of the investigation.
Because the thing supposed to get sent to him.
Exactly, everything.
But he didn't see the video.
So now, the other important thing the Prime Minister said, and I'm going to finish with this. The Prime Minister said the Commissioner felt that he should take the time off. But the press release said,
Something else.
the press release said the Prime Minister found the report to be incomplete and therefore unsatisfactory. In the circumstances, the Prime Minister directed that Dr. Richard Rosado proceed on leave of absence.
Yeah.
That means you put him on leave. Do not go in the House of Representatives and try to change what you have said.
He did that.
That is prevarication, sir. Do not do that. He said the commissioner felt, and he feel the commissioner could come back. Now, when he spoke to Karim Musa at the airport, Karim Musa says, I'm not sure he can come back. So now, it's a very interesting thing. Now, if they were to bring back Richard Rosado after going through an unprecedented administrative leave, it would be tough to convince the public, even if he's fully exonerated, even if Budna was wrong. They never spoke to him. You will never convince the public of that. As I said, Budna's credibility is higher than the Prime Minister. He's higher than the Commissioner of Police right now. Because the Commissioner of Police publicly engaged in deflection, obfuscation, and untruths about this matter. He did 3 of those in that press conference on Monday, August 25th. He has been exposed. So the Prime Minister is now changing his mouth, or trying to change his mouth, within just a span of 5 days on this matter. Now, what's amazing to me is how he and his Minister of Home Affairs are completely out of step. As we know, he rejected the Minister of Home Affairs suggestions for an independent investigation.
To release the video, because Minister Musa did say to release the video.
Release the video and independent investigation. Minister Musa said that I haven't had a chance to sit with the Prime Minister yet. I hope to do that sometime this week. Now we are in the middle of a national security crisis, dealing specifically with the police being involved in a criminal abduction. And the Minister of Home Affairs and the Prime Minister have not spoken. They have not, 2 of them were at the investment summit.
Never speak.
They never talk. Why talk? But what? He said, I hope to do that sometime in this coming week on this particular issue. So hopefully we could sort it out.
Sometime. I mean, it don't have to be Monday. Could be.
Yeah, no have to. You're free? You free? You busy? Oh, you're going where again?
It's not even like you could show that this needs.
There's no urgency.
First thing Monday.
There is no urgency. That is what confounds and confuses me. How can there be no urgency? Everybody is just on cruise. When the credibility of the police department is hemorrhaging, let us move on. I think I've said way too much.
Now it's time for you to answer the big comment, Jules.
Oh my.
Jules, the Prime Minister has challenged you, Jules.
Put your name on a ballot.
Put your name on a ballot.
I am sorry for my friend John Bisenyo. He's trapped in his father's mind. You know, so many of the things he says are straight out of 1979, 1981, the 80s. He's a slave to dogma. And I understand. But, you know, he says these things because I am not registered. I can't participate in this process of criticizing,
asking for
holding people to account.
Transparency.
I can't. I'm not a citizen.
You don't have a right because you don't vote.
I'm not a citizen. You see, that's what makes you a citizen in their mind. Let me explain. First of all, I know the Prime Minister speaks untruths freely. I am a registered voter. Victor, we have footage. I registered in protest. And I registered only so they would change the regulations. So that was 2018 when they had re-registration. They refused to register people without sleeves. So I cut the sleeve off of my shirt. And I got registered sleeveless because they were telling people who came there in tank tops that you cannot be registered because you're armed the show. This whole re-registration process is colonial, it is disenfranchising, it is discriminatory against the poorest people. So that's why I went in 2018 to protest, and it did create change. I don't look that good in a sleeveless. I will accept that. It's not my best look. I don't know if there is such a thing as my best look. But I'm saying that I went there. So I am registered John Bisenyo. No lie about me, sir. I wish I could deregister, and you know what? I will try to do it. Because I don't know part of a Babylon system that only implement this gangster system of corrupt elections that you, the politicians, the PUDP, have created in your own corrupt image and have perpetrated and foisted upon the people of Belize, who you have also corrupted. It's corrupt from top to bottom. I don't love it. This whole re-registration, if we don't do it again, I'm going to time itself to National Assembly to stop it. It has to stop. It's a colonial system designed that the richest people with access to vehicles with proximity, they could go re-register, but the poorest people have to travel half a day to get back to re-register because you take their franchise. That's another rant. Let me not go off on it here. That's another rant. But I am registered John Bisenyo. Don't lie about me.
But you know, Jules, I just want to just put in the fact that if you're not registered, so I'm looking at the young people population.
Oh, no.
14, 15, 16.
They aren't citizens. You can't complain.
So you can't complain.
Only way you could complain about John Bisenyo is if you could vote in a Babylon system. Well, I'm telling you, brother, I ain't voting. I am not voting, and I'm not stopping complaining. There is nothing you can do to shut me up. I am dead already. I am dead. I speak from the grave. Oh, no, can't kill me. I done dead. I am saying, I find it extremely, it is an old ploy by politicians. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Let me explain, citizens. It is your right to complain. It is your duty to complain. And it is my duty as a journalist to hold people to account. That's my job. But you see, John Briceño doesn't respect that job. That job, no, we exist for public relations. We exist to say all the good things the government is doing. That's what he told Budna the day before Budna was abducted on the football field. Why don't you talk about the good things we do? We do talk about it, sir. We do talk about it. But we must criticize you when you do bad things. No, 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 no. That's why his mind is stuck in 1981. This on a radio believes, Breds. This on a radio believes. My point is that it is a way to try and take away the duty of the journalist to criticize and to tell him or her, come in here, in a free Babylon system, the ship stem, come in here, and you will see how barley grow. Well, let me tell you, I will never put my name on a ballot. You know why? Because I ain't get bust up. I am not fit to touch the hem of John Briceño's garment. He will retire undefeated, the greatest politician in Orange Walk Central, greater than a pa, greater than a uncle. He will be in the pantheon of undefeated politicians, along with Dean Barrow, along with Florencio Marin Sr., and a couple others. My point is, I don't know that, Breds. I don't know that. I cannot compete. Mr. Briceño, you are the paramount, sir. I have neither the stone nor the steed or the steel to try and touch you. But my profession, journalism, does not have the word LIE in the middle. I am not a politician. I am not trying to run for the House of Representatives. People not see me and think I lied or that I am a thief. Then think that about, oh no, in that house there. I am not seeking that, sir. You got that covered. I could never beat you. I will never, and I don't want to be self-righteous, but I could not participate in a system where I get tobacco money in this paper bag, I get another kind of narco money in another paper bag, I get X money in a shoebox. And I will never vote for any politician who does not disclose every cent they received and who they received it from. And who does not commit to disclose every contract their ministry authorizes when they're in government. I will never participate in a corrupt electoral system. So, Mr. Prime Minister, I am registered. I will never vote until we have true accountability and transparency in this country. So I can't put my name on a ballot, sir. Me no good like you, me no rich like you, me no pretty like you. Me no got it. But somebody ran a simple poll this weekend, just out of a joke. I have a whole theory that the old people used to say, if you put Fahim name up against a bucket of ship, we're using the kind word, you put Fahim name up against a bucket of ship, and the bucket and win. Well, they did that this weekend. They put the Prime Minister's name. Somebody did a simple poll. That's a joke, to put his name versus mine for Prime Minister.
Okay.
I'm sure I won by Cordell Hyde numbers, because it's Facebook, right? I'm saying I am a bucket of ship, sorry. I am a bucket of ship. And I put up the PM's name against my name, and he got beat by a bucket of ship. I don't think they have it. I don't think I have the vanity to send it in. My point is, it was just a joke, and I could never, I would never even think those guys are on another level in every way. But my point is that if we had a direct electoral system, unlike the representative system that we have, that every person in this country had to vote for one prime minister, John Briceño would not be winning the way he is winning right now. No, I would never say that man ain't lose. He has mastered the dark art of politics in Belize. But you wouldn't win them big amount to the win, Breds. If there was direct election, you would struggle. I am telling you. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. So I'm not putting my name on a ballot because I lose. But if I do, my party will be named Bucket of Ship.
Good one.
Anyway, enough said.
Wow.
Too long.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Jules. We,
Good.
again, unfortunately, don't have anything to check Jules' pressure, guys. We just made it go. It was literally only 4 topics. We didn't know that it was
Yes.
this. And then the bucket of ship, you know.
Bucket of Ship.
Sail.
That's the party.
That's the party.
That's the
Okay.
party.
Okay. Will Parafit be our chairman? I'm just...
I don't think that we have space. We have space for me and Mike on any platform. Physical, not egotistical.
But with that, guys, we've come to the ending of Monday Morning Beef. We do have a beautiful sunrise to be able to share with you. We're going to put that up on the screen too as well.
The sunrise is from Jamie Usher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's getting inspired with these videos and everything.
I know, videos now
Awesome.
with the water, the whoosh and everything. So with that, guys, we're going to go to our first commercial break. But when we are back, we dive into exciting conversations ranging from World Tourism Day to talking about the sea of life and mangrove sediments, the beach erosion, and how vital it is to find solutions to deal with this crucial time when it comes to climate change. And of course, looking at the findings for the bus system providing solutions to companies. So stay tuned for those exciting conversations. We'll be right back.
Hi, have you heard about the expungement of criminal records? Well, as of August 1st, 2024, the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act allows for you to apply to have certain criminal charges permanently erased from your record. Isn't that amazing?
So, what makes you eligible to apply for expungement? The offense must qualify for expungement based on Schedule 2 and 3 of the law. You must meet the applicable rehabilitation period. This is the time period you must wait before you can apply. The applicant must not have any outstanding matters or have had any other convictions during the rehabilitation period. You can qualify for automatic expungement for certain first-time drug offenses, as well as COVID-related offenses. So, what are the benefits of expungement? Well, it broadens employment and educational opportunities that a criminal record would normally hinder.
It gives you a peace of mind away from the stigma of having a criminal conviction and provides you with access to services that may be otherwise restricted.
If you have a past criminal conviction, here's what you can do to get it expunged. First, verify if you qualify for expungement. Then, prepare the application package. Each package consists of 2 forms. Applications are available countrywide. You then make a non-refundable payment of $100 at your nearest Treasury Department and finally submit the package and payment receipt to any Ministry of Human Development office countrywide. Note, applicants will receive a notification within 90 days to see if their application was approved or denied. So, if you are interested, visit any Human Development office countrywide, any magistrate court, or the Ministry of Home Affairs office in Belmopan. For more information, you can call 227-2716 or you can WhatsApp 613-0343.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you never in the kitchen. But I'm going back in there right now. And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You to charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
However you travel, you're home. Book now and save 50% only at Naya.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sheree Kelso, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight.
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Adura Crack.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Muy buenos dias, my beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome to your Monday episode. Right now, we're going to get into a conversation with the Belize Tourism Board about World Tourism Day. They have a pop-up event coming up. Today, we're going to find out more details and the importance of commemorating and celebrating World Tourism Day. Joining us on our couch, we have Marina Lamia and Ms. Felicia Pelayo joining us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How is the Monday energy?
It's good. It's up here.
It's up there. All right. Very good. Thank you so much for joining us on the couch on a Monday to talk about World Tourism Day.
And I think, it's a really important topic because, tourism is one of those things that people know Belize for. It's one of those things that provides so much opportunities to many people across the country to make sure they have their bread and butter.
Yep.
And when I think about the idea of World Tourism Day, I would love to raise the awareness, or maybe someone that doesn't still understand, why even have a day called World Tourism Day? What is the concept behind making sure we have a day like that? So we could start off with that, and then of course, I'm sure there's a theme that we have to dive into and everything and all the details behind that. So what's the purpose of having World Tourism Day?
So World Tourism Day is an annual observance. So across the world, countries observe World Tourism Day. There is a theme, as you said, it is tourism and sustainable transformation. And I like the fact that you mentioned that tourism is such a big part of our society. And when it comes to sustainable transformation, in many ways, Belize is actually ahead and has integrated that theme in our industry. So when we talk about sustainable transformation and tourism, we're looking at tourism and how interconnected it is in our society. We're looking at how tourism benefits our communities, how it celebrates our cultural heritage, how it is an opportunity for economic empowerment for our communities. It's an opportunity to educate people, to build their skills, to improve our communities and societies. And that's definitely all encapsulated here in our country. When you look at our tourism industry, when we're talking about empowering communities, you're looking at cultural experiences that are led by community members. You know, you can have a Maya living experience where you get that authentic culture and experience.
When the host and you say everything.
Garifuna drumming, Garifuna cooking class, where travelers, yes, you can learn how to make the drum, you can learn how to make the food. We don't have an industry where it's just you come and you observe and you leave. You very much get integrated into our experiences here. Sustainable transformation also looks at our natural resources and ensuring that these are a part of our industry in a way that they are protected and that they're going to be available for future generations. And we just look at our Blue Bond, for example. You know, that's a global model right there for sustainable conservation. We'll also look at, when it comes to education and skills, BTB has the Elevate Training Institute designed specifically to build the skills of members in our tourism industry, because we have the warmth, we have the hospitality, we have all those things that brings people back, but we want to ensure that we're delivering a consistent service.
That is true.
So sustainable transformation, it is definitely a theme that we at the Belize Tourism Board implement in our strategy, in our policies, but it's also a theme that really it's interconnected. And for that reason, this year we're celebrating World Tourism Day, not just by the BTB, but we have some partners that are joining us for this event as well to help us celebrate.
Very good, Marian. So let's talk about this pop-up event that's upcoming.
Right, so let's dive into what's actually happening on the day. So we're gonna be out at Battlefield Park, September 27th from 1 to 6 p.m. So we kick off at 1. We're gonna be having giveaways every hour, and we're gonna have NGOs joining us. So we're gonna have Mar Alliance, Belize Audubon Society, Oceana Belize. We're also gonna have Belize Coastal Management Authority and Institute, also Wildlife Conservation Society. So we're tapping into different fields as well. So whatever you're interested in, you can get the education from them as well about what they're doing to contribute to sustainable tourism.
Nice. And this is a great opportunity for people, like you said, to understand what's happening around the country. Maybe volunteer if they'd want to volunteer too as well, to be a part. If you're maybe studying tourism and you want to like learn exactly more about, you know, the impacts and how you can play a role, which sectors specifically.
We actually have reached out to colleges and universities as well to let them invite their students and let them know that it's happening, because a lot of the times I think they don't get the opportunity to really see or know what's happening.
Yeah.
So this is a really good event for them to learn and get connected, and also do a little bit of networking. You never know if you might enter the field there, you know.
Right? Perfect. You have them right then. They're asking them all the hard questions then, and just like learn exactly and see and be able to be appreciative of the work, because it's not easy work, especially when it comes to conservation, and making sure you can enjoy it, but also have it for tourists to enjoy too. So there's always a sticky line that you have to like try to draw there.
And we've always been in that position too, also where you were in university and then you thought you wanted to do something, and then you realized, hey, maybe I don't want to do that.
But then, you know, having those conversations, like you
so
said,
events
volunteering.
like this, events like this really give them the platform to meet other people and get contact information that is really useful to them, you know.
So I'm thinking now, 27th of September, this is at Battlefield Park. We're coming out from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. I know you mentioned that you're talking about universities and so forth. This is for the general public, this is for young people, this is for everybody, really. And you're trying to make sure that they understand what's happening when it comes to the country and what's the role that we're playing, correct?
Yeah, definitely. For this year, we took a bit of a different approach. We had, for one World Tourism Day 2 years ago, we had an grand art competition where we got some very beautiful artwork submitted for that theme that year. Last year, we had a mobile photo contest about World Tourism Day that was open to tertiary level students across the country. So for this year, we wanted to engage the wider public, you know, young persons, students, families. If you're somebody that loves to travel, you can win one of our amazing staycation packages. So we definitely wanted to
Now
be
you got
out
me
there
there.
on the ground engaging people.
Now you got me there. We're going to talk about
Yeah.
staycation because I really want to remind people that tourism and being a tourist is not necessarily always about people coming into your country. You are local tourists too as well that can travel.
Belizean travelers.
Belizean travelers. So let's talk about that.
So
Because
we have some great staycation prices that I think that everybody will love, and it's also an opportunity for them to become a Belizean traveler, like we said, and it's also convenient for them to visit places in their country because I mean, you know, we have to get back to work on Monday morning, so we need we need this to go. So we're gonna have these are just a couple that we're gonna throw out there. 2-night stay for 2 persons at the Lodge Straw Creek. The certificate includes a luxury rainforest cottage, guided tours of the Butterfly Farm and Natural History Center, hiking on La Ruta Maya trails, and self-guided canoeing on the Macau River, and early morning bird watching, along with 20% discount on meals.
Ooh,
and that's
their
just
food,
one.
And their food is amazing.
Yes,
like
their food is
seriously amazing.
We have a 2-night stay for 2 in a courtyard suite at Bananas on the Beach. We have a 2-night stay in a beachfront cabana with a 60-minute beach massage. So these are really good staycation prices that you can come out and win, because we're gonna have games, educational engaging games for the kids, for adults, for we're gonna be mixing it up. We're gonna have a giveaway every hour. So how it's gonna work is you go to the NGO booths after you go to the booths and they do their presentation, and you get a chance to enter the raffle. So every presentation you
So it's like a
finish,
pick-out ticket kind of thing too as
so
well.
you fill it out and then you have a chance to win. Some of our sponsors are the Belize Collection, the Lodge at Chaw Creek, Bananas on the Beach, Azor del Mar, Splash Dive Center, Alma del Rio, Casa Cava, San Ignacio Resort Hotel, Bocawina Rainforest Resort and Adventure, Tobacco Key Paradise. These are all of our sponsors. So
And it's
we have
really great places that people can go and enjoy.
Yeah.
Just every hour.
Yeah.
So if you
and
like
for
the
every
1 o'clock one,
right,
2 o'clock one,
right.
maybe.
You can join us for the rest of the evening if you'd like to. So I mean, and it's like we said, it's supposed to be to raise awareness for you to understand that tourism is just not an economic driver, but we have to understand how we keep this sustainable for generations to come, so that it survives.
Definitely.
And
cultural aspect.
Here's a bouncy house for the kids.
Yeah.
We have a live
Music. Yeah.
Oh, we have music and all of that too as
Yeah.
well. Okay. And then will food be outside or no? It's just
The vendors are in the park already, so
Okay.
we don't want.
yes, you're right. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yes.
It's just a
Right.
matter of having
If you're
the
just
kids
out doing your shopping downtown or just passing through the area, definitely stop by. You can win a prize. We'll have some Belizean Traveler merch that you could also win. We have some new stuff in as well.
Okay.
We might have a couple extra items as well, but you have to be an early bird to go out
I
there
mean,
and
you
take
need to
advantage of
things
it.
that one. You need to
Right.
get it like from 12:30
Yeah,
just to make
sitting
sure.
at the park, yeah.
Yeah, we can't sell out all the surprises, but I advise for you to be there early.
Very well. So reminding the viewers that it's September 27th at the Battlefield Park. It starts at 1 p.m.
To 6
Right.
p.m. Yeah.
1 to 6 p.m. The Belize Tourism Board and your partners, NGO partners, are going to be out there. Very good.
It's gonna be a great time to go out, and I really encourage you to bring out the children so they can ask the questions and see exactly what's happening. Those staycations,
Yeah.
That's true.
they're not just to make you stay. You to enjoy stuff too, so they're tours, and I think that's the part. We go on, not just
Yeah.
accommodations, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna get a massage. we're gonna eat good. So I really encourage people to come out and celebrate, and for people like you mentioned, like students that are studying tourism, this is really an important time to build a conversation, build a networking too as well. So as we're wrapping up, any final remarks, anything that we forgot to mention?
I don't think so.
We just want to invite the public to stay tuned to our Facebook page, the Belize Tourism Board Facebook page. We'll have live updates on our Belizean Traveler pages as well. So definitely don't miss out on the fun.
Okay. So stay tuned, guys. Follow on their Facebook page. And with that, we're going to go to our next commercial break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Look here, your kitchen light there, you never in the kitchen.
Mama going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker,
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
where do you know?
I'll try think more to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You to charge your phone right now? No. Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 socks and 1 shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house, and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
However you travel, you're home. Book now and save 50% only at NIA.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
These charter means aren't
We're
from an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning,
of
the
Northern
2023
Lagoon.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight.
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Muy buenos dias, my beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. Just before the commercial break, we had a great conversation with Belize Tourism Board talking about the upcoming event in commemoration of World Tourism Day, which talks about tourism and also sustainability, which brings us into a very next interesting topic that is very well connected as we talk about microplastics in mangrove sediments and beach erosion is vital, and sharing effective solutions is crucial. And joining us to have this conversation via Zoom, we have Dacia Regalado. She is a conservationist and program fellow of the Sea of Life. Dacia, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us via Zoom. How are you doing today?
Hi, good morning. I'm doing great, actually. I sleep a lot.
That's okay. We love the honesty.
I'm doing amazing.
I just want to check because it sounded like I got at least sniffle the right there. I said, girl, please tell me this weather and I get you too.
Sorry, I did not hear what you guys just said.
No, I'm saying how that you sound a little stuffy, so I was checking if the weather got you sick too as well.
Yes, it's also the weather. So I'm a bit stuffy.
Yeah, that's I have to say that we miss your energy on the set. It's always so good to have a conversation with you. But this is definitely a great conversation we're going to be having with you today about mangrove sediments, microplastics in mangrove sediments, and also beach erosion. Before we get into that, can you briefly share with us what is the role of the Sea of Life, the organization you're representing?
So yes, so Sea of Life is a very newly NGO, which was started by Paulita Bennett and Miss Natalie. They're the ones behind the scene, like in terms of like who brought in Sea of Life to Belize. Later on, they hired Miss Sasha. Then I became part of the team. And no, I'm there. It's a woman-led, a small NGO. And we just grew our team to other staff members, which we're very happy to have. Because a lot of responsibility is being shared and we're all working as a team, which is pretty amazing. But yes, we work closely with communities and we use our different programs that we have, like the Trash Plate Addicts, the Plastic Solution Academy, and the Women in Conservation Summit, to also give back to the community. As our mission is also to strengthen communities through our conservation work and methods that we use to strengthen also, and protect the ocean in terms of like reducing the use of plastic in Belize. So that's a little summary of who we are.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm also aware that Sea of Life is big in doing research, which is important in driving your programs and how you go about addressing plastics or plastic solutions in Belize. And I feel that's where it ties into our conversation with you as we talk about microplastics in mangrove sediments.
Yes, so I, as part of, like I said, I just started with Sea of Life last year, but yes, this year actually. And I got the opportunity through Sea of Life and the Belize network of NGOs to go for a capacity building exchange back in Rhode Island and Florida. And it was more, to be specific, to the Conch Lab and to the MRC, which is Marine Resource Council, And one of the things that I saw there that they were doing, the capacity building is for me to strengthen my knowledge in terms of microplastics, since that's my area here where I am with Sea of Life, in terms of education and outreach. I want to be able to teach, and share with the audience or just with schools, universities, about the effects of microplastics in our body. So when I went to the University of Rhode Island, one of their main focus with Dr. Victoria is looking into microplastic in mangrove sediments. If you look at, in Belize, we have a lot of areas where mangroves are not growing. There's a lot of like dead areas. And a lot of people have tried different methods, but some mangroves are not growing. But what if the main cause of the growth not growing, of mangroves not growing, is because there is microplastics in its sediments. And so that's one thing that really captured my attention in terms of like microplastic in sediments. There's like a whole process that you go through, just collecting the samples or the sediments and then filtrating those sediments to see what type of microplastics we can find, because there are different microplastics. Like we have microbeads, which can be found in our makeups. We have microfibers that can be found in the air that we are breathing. So there's like different type of microplastics that's affecting not just mangrove sediments, but also our health. So it's like a one health situation. It affects one, it affects all. And in those videos that you're seeing, those were part of the process of like looking at the different type of microplastic. And then the one that you saw in the bottles, those are plastic noodles. So those are the ones that you find in car spills or anything that has to do with spills. Those are noodles. But it's quite very interesting because they're so small, and especially the microfibers, because they're finding our clothing in our washing machine and literally in the air that we breathe, which really caught my attention because we look for, via microscope, we look at microfibers. And it's interesting because I couldn't see the microfibers with my glasses, but when you use the microscope, you can actually spot a lot of like microfibers from a low sample within.
Okay, we're having some internet challenges on your end, Dacia. Could you repeat the statement that you just shared?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Could you repeat your last statement? Because we...
you guys, I kind of broke up, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, I was saying that like microfibers, it's really hard to see microfibers. And in general, it's hard to see microplastic.
Right.
However, like using a microscope, it's easier to spot them. And when you do actually see them via microscope, it's very alarming because it's in the air we breathe, it's in the food we eat, but it's so small that we can't see them. And it's not like if we're gonna go for dinner and we're gonna be like, oh, let me see if this plate of food has microplastic, right? Because once we're hungry, we're not really look into how much microplastic is in it. But one of the things that Sea of Life do try to educate the public about reducing the use of plastic.
Very well. So like our question is, why is it important for us to talk about microplastics? How does that affect human well-being?
Like, how does microplastic affect human well-being?
Yeah.
I mean, microplastics are like, if you look at any plastic cup right now that people say that it's recyclable, it is made from plastic. Plastic that's made from plastic contains of chemicals. And sometimes when people have allergies, they say that it's allergies, but it's not really allergies. It's the chemicals that the plastic or the item that you're using or you're drinking from, it's the chemical that's not, it's your body is reacting to the chemical in that item. So it do brings a huge effect. And like I said, it's not just about, the work we do is not just about telling people not to use plastic. It's also about educating them that there are side effects when it comes to us using plastic.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this is really educational, it's building awareness. Talk to us a little bit about where people can go to build their awareness a lot more, to understand, because when you talk about the world of microplastics and you're explaining that, you know, it's in everything that we look at as compared to like makeup, to these different things in the air. If somebody's listening and they connect with this story, they connect with the passion of trying to build awareness and they want to build their awareness, where can they go? You know, what conversations can they have to be able to build their knowledge?
They can just go to our social media sites. Sea of Life has a Facebook and an Instagram page. We also have our Women in Conservation Summit that's approaching. And if they're inspiring to become a conservationist or you're just simply interested in eco-friendly lifestyle, and they're a female, they're open to come along and register to the Women in Conservation Summit that's going to be held in November. So yes, they can, all the information is there, and we try our best to educate the public about sort of plastic items.
Very good. Dacia, thank you so much for joining us on Sunup on 7 to talk about microplastics, the importance of reducing our plastic use. As we wrap up this conversation, can you share at least 2 or 3 tips on how can we reduce our plastic use?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you share like two or three tips on how can we reduce our plastic use?
For some reason, it's so spotty. I can hear you both ways. You can't. Sorry, can you repeat that?
So I guess it's okay.
Spotty.
Yeah. That's totally fine.
Broke down finally.
I'm sorry about that. So due to our technical challenges connecting with you, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us on this Monday episode. We look forward to our future conversation with you, talking about the summit that's going to be coming up.
And
in
again,
November.
for people out there, check out the Sea of Life Facebook page and check out the website and be able to understand a lot more register for the summit. And of course, we're going to bring that conversation at another point in time for you. But thank you so much, Darcy, for being here virtually and connecting with us on this very important topic. So with that, guys, we're going to go to our next commercial break. But when we are back, we dive into excitement when it comes to Andre's findings on the bus system and providing solutions for how we can move forward with these companies. He's been doing extensive research and he's an author, so it's great to be able to go into that conversation. Stay tuned.
Hi, have you heard about the expungement of criminal records? Well, as of August 1st, 2024, the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act allows for you to apply to have certain criminal charges permanently erased from your record. Isn't that amazing?
So, what makes you eligible to apply for expungement? The offense must qualify for expungement based on Schedule 2 and 3 of the law. You must meet the applicable rehabilitation period. This is the time period you must wait before you can apply. The applicant must not have any outstanding matters or have had any other convictions during the rehabilitation period. You can qualify for automatic expungement for certain first-time drug offenses, as well as COVID-related offenses. So, what are the benefits of expungement? Well, it broadens employment and educational opportunities that a criminal record would normally hinder.
It gives you a peace of mind away from the stigma of having a criminal conviction and provides you with access to services that may be otherwise restricted.
If you have a past criminal conviction, here's what you can do to get it expunged. First, verify if you qualify for expungement. Then, prepare the application package. Each package consists of 2 forms. Applications are available countrywide. You then make a non-refundable payment of $100 at your nearest Treasury Department and finally submit the package and payment receipt to any Ministry of Human Development office countrywide. Note, applicants will receive a notification within 90 days to see if their application was approved or denied. So, if you are interested, visit any Human Development office countrywide, any magistrate court, or the Ministry of Home Affairs office in Belmopan. For more information, you can call 227-2716 or you can WhatsApp 613-0343.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you've been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where did you know?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You to charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 socks and 1 shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
My beautiful people, welcome back to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. Thank you so much for making some company to Renata and I and our guests that come through today's episode. If you missed any of our conversations, you can always go back and watch our Facebook recorded live. But also stay tuned to our Facebook and Instagram pages to know who our guests, what conversations to bring forward to the show. And of course, we invite you to share that within your spaces to get the Sunup on 7 family growing. On to a very important conversation. We've been talking about the Belize bus system for a while. And of course, it connects and pulls people in many ways. So today we're going to be talking with Andre Habet, who's an author of a research that he did on the Belize bus system. Today, we're going to find out some of these provocative thoughts that came from the research that he did, and of course, finding solutions into how can we improve our Belize bus system. Andre, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Sunup on 7 today.
Hi, morning, guys. Thank you for having me back.
How is your Monday energy?
My Monday energy is a little bit down, but that's because the bus, a company bus this morning from Belmopan, and I mean, a tough one. I think I get slapped by Bati and a bag all the way to Belize City.
Oh my gosh. Did you come standing up on the bus?
No, I was sitting in the aisle, but you know, just a lot of bodies they get this morning. Yeah.
When the bodies get you, the bodies get you. So
yeah.
Not the right way of getting bodies, right?
I don't want the bodies.
It's a children's show.
Yeah. It's not a children's show. It's a, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're very interested in you know, like, in discussing your recent publication that you did on the Belize bus system.
And I think just the idea of allowing people to just kind of like walk a mile in your shoe. What was the thought process? What initially kind of grabbed you, pulled you, said, I need to do an assessment. I need to do a research when it comes to this Belize bus system.
So this journalism investigation was motivated by the fact that I ride the bus regularly for intracity travel, meaning intercity travel between cities. And one of the things that I have recognized is that in Belize, the bus is definitely something about socioeconomic strata. Poor people use the bus, in other words. And it is seen as something that if you get enough money, you stop using the bus. And then you never look back if you could help it. And that's not the case everywhere in the world, actually. There's many places where people of all walks of life are riding the bus regularly. I personally ride the bus because, one, I have a car. I used to have one, but afraid I drive. So I have a car right now. And the bus is much cheaper, right? Anybody will tell you that. That's one of the main things from the story, right? I rode the bus today to Belize City. Cost me $8. If I had a private vehicle and I'm gonna drive it, that would have cost me somewhere in the number of $50 on just fuel, right? So just thinking about that, I was thinking, why is our bus system the way it is? And how is it that this can be improved? Because I want to be able to use the bus regularly. My partner also relies on the bus because they don't have a car either. And we just want to be able to visit around Belize, and actually it's very hard because you can't really do it effectively, efficiently. You know, if you just want to go for a day trip somewhere, it's almost impossible. You know, one time when we just started dating, we went to Cayo. We thought we had planned things out well, that we could come back same day in the evening. We made a stand up on the highway 4 o'clock to get a bus back to Belmopan. You know, we stand up 4 to 7 o'clock and no bus.
Wow.
And there were supposed to be at least 3 buses on schedule. Not a single one of them passed, and we had to stay overnight. And that was money we didn't plan to spend. And then we were stuck there having to spend, you know, upwards of $150 just on staying somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, this would ruin people's lives. That's something what people now have budget for.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it needs to be better because we deserve better, really.
I agree with you 100%. So let's talk about what are some of your main goals into this investigative journalism that you did?
Sure, thank you. So some of the main goals was to find out what are some of the common things that were happening, you know, to look at the difference between what are anecdotal stories of events that are happening. So we see a lot of the more dramatic things, you know. 7 News has covered a lot of these, including the bus overturning earlier this year with over 30 people in it, with injuring several of those people. We had several buses catching on fire, one at the end of last month, right in Belize City here. So I wanted to see, are these frequent, or are we just hearing about them every time they happen? And so one, I wanted to do a study, which I did a 2-week study with 2 people who were riding the bus every day for work to see what they were seeing. And you know, standees was the most frequent thing, speeding was also a thing, and highly distracted driving was also a feature. But not only that, I wanted to see what passengers thought, so I did some of that. I wanted to know why, and then I wanted to talk to bus operators and ask them, you know, what's your situation? How is this working out for you? And, you know, I think there's a lot of tension because we're trying to look for who's the one in the wrong. And I think this story ultimately shows that everybody is struggling, passenger and bus operator. Everybody is struggling to try to make this work. And it is a situation that isn't tenable. And the thing is that if we don't push to make it better, it will get even worse because a lot of the things that will make it worse are out of control. We don't control international fuel prices. We don't control the prices of vehicles and the availability of them, because one of the things that the operator said is that there is increasing competition for buying these buses. So if you can't buy a bus because other people to buy it, then that means you stay with your old bus longer. And that means we are riding these old buses longer. So there's a complex web of things, and to me, good investigative journalism, and I'm proud to say I think this article is good, is that it makes it clear how nuanced the situation is. And you know, this article ends by providing a few solutions that came about through my research from the people I spoke to, but also, you know, things that have been reported that have worked in other places.
Yeah, well, what I found interesting about the article was that it highlights things that we would not take into account. For instance, I reflect on the story about the passenger who's also a nurse, where the bus driver was having a high spike in their glucose level, right? And I'm like, and they had no idea how to handle such situation. I'm like, look at things like that, right? We focus on the bus system, thinking about the physical infrastructure and the bus terminal, but what about the quality of life or of the human resources that are part of the system? It's stuff like that that I was like pretty amazed that you were able to like highlight those things, because people need to know at the end of it, humans are the main drivers and the main users behind this system. Wow, so that was like a very good thing that I found in your article. But you talk about your article coming with solutions. So what needs to happen for us to improve the bus system before it gets worse?
So we talk about the human-centric approach to thinking about solutions, and I think one of the main things we have to think about is the culture that has developed around the bus, right? And a lot of that has been due to a scarcity mindset around buses. We never feel like there's enough buses, so when we are at the bus terminal, things are very chaotic. This morning, getting to the terminal in Belmopan, I got to the terminal at 5:30 a.m. to get the bus at 6 a.m. And I was able to get to the front of the line, but by the time the 6 a.m. bus come, there's a huge mass of people behind me, and everybody needs to get to their job on time. So, you know, as soon as the crowd starts to emerge and the gate open, you know, as one person in the article mentioned, you know, it feels like a stampede. And the thing is that it is because people feel like if I don't get this, then there is repercussions. I will be late for my job, my kid will be late to school. And so we have to think about, okay, how do we make buses more available? So is this a matter of studying data on bus frequency? And this is a role for the Department of Transport and the Transport Board, which needs to become more data driven. And I do think that there is talk within the department. But the thing is that there's talk often of things that are in progress that you don't really see the fruits of. And I think it's up to us as citizens who elect these people to hold them accountable and say, hey, you committed to this, and we need to see some results. And we need to, and the fact that I was unable to get data from the Ministry of Transport or the department on bus rider usage, it makes me concerned. It's like, well, that actually should be driving how you are making decisions as far as who is getting permits. And if you're not taking that approach, then the thing is that then it does become another area of cronyism.
Yeah.
And that's one solution. We have to actually address the fact that our public services need to be driven by need. And the need for bus service at different times of day, because the truth, sometimes you do go on a bus and there's less users, but that also means that needs to also be a thing. It's like, okay, we need a lot of buses in the morning and the evening. We need to meet that need. And in addition to that, we also need to think about what are we pitching people? For example, this morning I was on an express bus. Express bus, the only express bus when they want to be express bus. Because we were driving here, we stop in St. Martin, we stop in Cottontree, we stop at the Macrace, we stop at Hattiville, and by the time we pass Hattiville, the whole bus is full to the door with standees. And I include some images to share on the screen if they can that show some of these things. But what I'm really curious about seeing is how can we work together to change this culture where it said, okay, there will be enough buses, we don't need to have standees anymore at different times. Because the thing is, not about standees, they be inconvenience for people to sit down on the bag and the bate. The boat, that is unsafe for the people who are standing.
Yeah. And it's also like unfair because you're paying a price as somebody who's sitting down, and yet you have to be uncomfortable standing up the entire way.
You're not paying no standee price.
Exactly.
And I had a ride down south recently that was horrible. It was really packed, and there was a little girl who her torso reached where the seat is at, and she was getting crushed into the seat by so many people just being around her, and she's crying. And it's like this is not a situation that we should think is okay. And the parents are trying to tell her to calm down, but it's like, but she's in pain. I mean, that's what you do when you're in pain. You cry out for help.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to think about these situations. And again, like you said, if people not ride the bus, they don't know the realities and don't understand what people's day-to-day life is, because you don't have a car. So you have to get to point A to point B. This is your job, this is your child's school, this is whatever errand that you need to do because the task needs to get done, and you don't have a car, so you have to use this bus. So you're forced into this public transportation that is not a pleasant experience. I want to look at historically, if you were able to find how there has been a shift in policy and what is how the buses are operating, if you were able to find anything on that.
So one of the things that the bus operators shared with me that I did find evidence of is that there are commitments that the government makes with bus operators, most particularly the Belize Bus Association, and those commitments really don't see follow through sometimes on the part of the government, and that is where things do need to be addressed, because there is an erosion of trust between operators and the government. Because if you tell me, okay, this that the goal is set, and then you invest your money to try to meet that goal, and then another person gets in and say, that's not the goal anymore, this that the goal now. Then how do you trust that your investments will see returns?
Yeah.
You need to see some things fulfilled. And to me, in this case, why it was particularly egregious is because the two parties, they like to blame each other when the other one comes in party. But in this case, it was one PUP administration succeeding the next PUP administration, overriding the last one. So it's like, so why can't be like, okay, you want to succeed, you want to take things to the next level, but you have to still meet that first level first. You can't just switch it up on people. So that is one thing that is, representative within the industry, but also indicative of a broader trend, which is we're not coming through on our commitments to the people, and I shouldn't say they are not coming through on their commitments to the people, and then we are the ones who are suffering the consequences, the bus operators and the passengers. As you know, they're not to ride the bus, so they're not a trip boat where they go on it. They're not to feel that at all. So that to me is one of the issues, and the other issue is that, again, we don't have data driving the development of the bus industry, and as more roads get developed, we have a need for more coverage, but that coverage is not happening in a way that's sustainable, that is not thinking about, well, if you have a bus, this is how much you have to make in order to keep that bus running. So people just sort of just go by the seat of their, fly by the seat of their pants, right? The bus operators, you know, it's, a lot of it seems like it's very unsafe because some of these guys then tell me that they work on their bus into the late night and then they don't go to sleep. They get on the road and then they drive, and you have a bus operator now, never sleep whole night. Now he to drive you from Orange Walk, or now he to drive you from Toledo, or now he to drive you from Kaya, and he to take you to work. And he dip on no sleep, and you don't know that. And now you have to rely on somehow them being okay enough for that. And I don't fault them with that, because if they don't show up with that bus, then that is a mark against them. And then they can lose the road service permit. So they really are in a bind. So nobody's being incentivized to be honest, really, to be transparent. Why you shouldn't be punished if your bus not at work and you can't meet that day's ride. You should be able to report that, and then for there to be a backup. And then there's no situation where somebody be like, oh, well, why that bus never come? Well, the bus never broke down, so now you have to wait that 2 hours. And if you have to wait 2 hours and you had an appointment scheduled, and you even to be generous to try and make the time, you might not make that appointment anymore, and your whole day thrown off.
That is so true.
And especially with key departments like immigration and Bomapan, if you to try to get the Bomapan just for the day for that, and then some bus issue happens, and now you can't do that appointment, and now that has a cascading effect, right?
Doggy just up it really is an inconvenience. So on that same note, because I know you mentioned something very key, and I think that it's something we don't necessarily always tackle too as well, is talking to the bus drivers, to the operators there too as well, and finding out past and present, like what have been some of their qualms. Like you mentioned before, there has been promises or empty promises sometimes, or shifts in the system of who's leading, and how that now really affects them being able to provide that work.
Yes, well, I think one of the big challenges that they face is that they are independent companies, private companies, but they are providing a public service. We need the bus. The thing is that the way that our workforce has developed over the years, people live in entirely different districts than where they work. So it is on the government's responsibility to ensure that whatever is getting those people to those jobs, because you know, if we are invested in the economy, then that means we need people to be able to get to their job and to complete their work. So that requires some degree of government involvement in this process, beyond just organizing it. They need to be involved in giving incentives. And one of those incentives that the drivers want is they want fuel subsidies. And they did briefly receive fuel subsidies during COVID, but it was very brief. And it was that was provided to them because they were taking a huge hit, right? Nobody was riding the bus because far fewer passengers were riding the bus at the time during COVID due to safety measures, which were very necessary. And it is great that the government at the time decided to give those subsidies, but it was brief. It was supposed to be for 6 months. Some operators said that they never got any. Some operators said it was very brief. So I think that consideration to how to make that possible for them long-term is one way to do that. Now, the National Bus Company, which the current minister, Dr. Louis Abane, has proposed, is suggesting that this might be a part of the National Bus Company. The issue that operators have with that is they wonder, well, if you could have provided this benefit to us long ago, why couldn't you have done that to us when it was just before National Bus Company, before you get involved? And UDP Representative Godwin Haylock, he calls the National Bus Company Novellas 2.0 and says that the only difference is that now the government wants to be in charge of the monopoly. And I think it's a bit more nuanced than what Representative Haylock says, but I do hear what he's saying, in that there is some new interest on the government to be involved in the bus game, but also they're not providing sufficient enough information to the bus owners to say, how is this going to actually operate? What am I going to own? What am I going to be accountable for, liable for? And I did speak to somebody, Ana Maria Pinto from the Inter-American Development Bank, who is the transport division head. And she shared some advice on that, talking about the ways in which the National Bus Company could split the liability and the cost of developing a private-public partnership to develop an industry. So this is a way forward, but I think the government really needs to ramp up not only the information they're sharing with the bus owners, but also with the public at large, because we're the ones riding the buses. So we need to know, okay, what is this going to change for us? I have yet to see any instance of the Ministry of Transport asking for our input. So that was another reason why I was motivated to make this story, because I wanted to get that input and share it and put it into an article that could not be denied and say, here, this is what people have issue with. Fix it, because that's what they're there to do.
Definitely. And just start winding down on this conversation, do you have any other key message that you feel is very important as we talk about how can we transform our bus system?
Yeah, so just to elaborate on something I'd already said with the standees thing and the schedules, you know, we're in Belize City right now. The Belize City is running the UNDP e-mobility bus pilot, and Mr. Hall, who is the project coordinator, he shared about changing the culture around buses and the data-driven approach to that. So one, if you've ever ridden the e-bus does not stop, meaning it does not stop wherever you want to stop. It has predetermined stops, and you only can get out of those stops and get on at those stops. And the effect this has, it allows the schedule to be predictable and consistent, because they are able to use a data-driven approach to predict how long it takes to get to certain places and then drop those people off. If we adapt that to our highway bus system, that could be a game changer there.
I agree.
And I think we do need to serve our rural communities, definitely. Our rural communities need to be served by the bus, but we need to be thinking a bit more expansively about how that happens. One solution would be, all right, we have every village have a busita. We will take you to the bus stop. It will pass through the whole village, and it just does that all day, taking you to the bus stop. And that way, we don't have a situation where you enter a village and you stop for a person every 10 steps, which is what happens right now. You go to some of those villages like Bella Vista down south, you stop at the beginning of Bella Vista, you stop another 20 feet, and then you stop again. Now, I think that we need to be mindful of...
That also consumes more fuel.
Oh, yes.
We need to be mindful of disabled people who need to have that ability to just get on board. But we need to also think about how can we do that in a way that doesn't cost the bus time and fuel, like you said. And I do think this system of networking our busitas and our buses can be a huge change to how we're operating here. And it could also reduce things like speeding, because speeding is done in some cases to make up for lost time. But if we are clear on how long things are going to take, then there's no time to make up. And I do think that one final point I want to hit on is that there needs to be more training of drivers, not only in terms of driving safely and consciously, but also consideration to drivers' health. Because if you are at risk, if you have some sort of chronic illness that might make it difficult for you to drive, that man who had a stroke on the bus, my heart goes out to him. And I also wonder what support was he receiving from the operator regarding his health. Were there any signs that he was going to potentially have a flare-up, an acute incident before that should have been attended to? So I do think that thinking about passengers' health and operators' health to me is a key thing, and something I'd like to hit on maybe a follow-up piece.
That is true. There's no I have not seen first aid kits on buses, for instance. So in case you have a passenger that's going through a stroke or something, right? Do they know how to intervene? They say there's no nurse on the bus. How do they ensure that their passenger is safe? Things like that, right? How can we not think about those things?
We're not taking these into consideration.
I know another thing is the modernization of the bus system. It's ridiculous that there is no database where you can go and find a schedule until recently, where this developer created something. And I'm like, wow, it took so many years.
Outside of this,
40 something years.
Okay, let's do this.
For somebody to say, hey, we need to have an online schedule.
He pointed out something that I hope the government can attend to, which he said that, I made this for Belizean, but he said he also was thinking about tourists and our country, which is so reliant on tourism for its economy. We have left tourists to sort of fend for themselves when it comes to the buses. And so that's why Constantine Enriquez, he developed this bus schedule system online, because he was saying, we need to make it easier for people to take the bus. As he mentioned in the article, taking the bus requires some skill, and that should not be the case. Taking the bus should be easy as pie. You should be able to get to the terminal and know what the bus is going next time. Right now, they put up a TV at the terminal with the schedule. I gone this morning, the TV got garbage bag over it. I guess it made it rain and it made it get wet or something. But it's like we put these band-aids on things, and then it's like, all right, the TV crew done gone. We can move on now.
Yeah.
We need to take care of stuff. We need to. It's so much to unravel from this. But again, Andrew, thank you so much for this conversation.
You're welcome.
I hope it's not the last time, because obviously we want people to get the article. Where can people be able to find the piece too as well, so that they can be able to listen in?
Yes, they can read the article at climatespotlight.com/bus, or they can listen to it at tinyurl.com/bzebus. Before I get off, I just wanted to know if I could share a letter that I wanted to share with the audience.
Okay.
Thank you. So speaking on the issue of holding our government accountable for things, I'm reading this letter on behalf of an organization that I am a part of, that was founded just this past Saturday, called Liberation 921. So Liberation 921 commends the government of Belize for having acted in a timely fashion to suspend diplomatic ties with Israel when it became clear that it was committing genocide against the native people of the occupied territory. We also applaud the resolution passed by the National Assembly in 2021, which declared that Israel's regime of systemic oppression of the Palestinian people constitutes a regime of settler colonialism and apartheid, end quote. The resolution also urged the government to support by all means at its disposal the International Criminal Court's investigation and prosecution of individuals responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in the occupied Palestinian territory. Gaza is part of the occupied Palestinian territory, and that resolution was passed before Israel began to commit the horrendous crime of extermination by starvation. More recently, the International Association of Genocide Scholars passed at the end of August a resolution that stated that the actions directed against the Palestinian people meets the definition of genocide, underscoring the urgency of international accountability. As a signatory to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, Belize is obliged to prevent and to punish the crime of genocide committed by any individual. In the case of Belize, there is in force a law, Statutory Instrument 108 of 2011, which enables any Israeli passport holder to enter Belize without a visa and stay for 90 days. Bearing in mind that Israel maintains a system of compulsory military service, it is highly likely that visiting Israelis have been or are in military service in Israel and may have committed crimes against humanity. To fulfill Belize's international legal obligations under the Genocide Convention, the Geneva Convention, and the Convention Against Torture, it is necessary that all visiting Israeli nationals be properly vetted on an individual basis to ascertain that they have not participated in or been complicit in any war crimes or crimes against humanity which Belize is obliged to prosecute. Liberation 921, therefore, calls on the government to repeal the Immigration Visa Relaxation Declaration, State of Israel Order 2011, and henceforth require all Israeli passport holders to apply for visas to enter Belize. All such applications must be rigorously vetted to ensure that the passport holder has not possibly committed war crimes as a member of the Israeli occupying forces or has not aided and abetted such commissions by others. Signed, Liberation 921.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that, Andre. A very powerful message that you just shared with the public, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to do that. And yeah, more peace and more love to everybody, right?
I agree, 100%. Yes.
With that, guys, we've come to the ending of the show. We're going to be wrapping up everything. We want to thank our guests that came on. We talked about World Tourism Day that's happening on the 27th of September at Battlefield Park. We also talked with Sea of Life about Microplastics, and you can be able to visit their website as well as their Facebook page to learn more about the information. Of course, we had Andrea Habit on talking about the Belize bus system and, of course, solutions that we can be able to tackle it too as well. So thank you for everybody that tuned in and stayed for the rest of the conversation. We send you off on Montabulous Monday. See you back here tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Have a great start of the week, folks. We love you. Bye-bye.
Border to border, Belize and Guatemala. Border to border, we need peace and order. Border to border, Belize and Guatemala. Border to border, we need peace and order. We're tired of this way.
A place to call your home. A place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns. We share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up